Okay, right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Eleanor. I'm from Little Learners, Gloucester and Forest of Dean. And we're doing our live this morning. We're going to be doing some potato print wrapping paper all ready for Christmas. So before we start, we'll have a quick look at our mark making characters. Okay, and we're going to be using a couple to help us today as well. So first of all, we have our Lionel. He's our straight line mark. So he does our up and down and side to side marks. So say hi to Lionel, everybody. Good morning, Lionel. There we go. And next we have our Archie. He does our rainbows, our humps and our bumps. So our rainbow's going over and back again, and all of our humps and bumps, and our smiley faces like this. So I say good morning to Archie, everybody. Hi, Archie. And next we have our swirler. She's our circle and circles and swirls, and she's our magic pot. And we do our big circles and our little circles as well, going all the way round. Say good morning to Swirler. Hi, Swirler. You might be helping us today, I think. And then we have Ziggy. So this is Ziggy. Say hi to Ziggy, everybody. Hi. And he does our zigzags and our pointy shapes. So he'll definitely be helping us today when we do some triangles for our Christmas trees. So good morning, Ziggy. Hi, Ziggy. There we go. So that's our mark making characters. And what we're going to be doing today is some potato print wrapping paper. So here's an idea of what I had a little practice at earlier. So we're going to be doing some penguins. So some nice round shapes there that Swirlo can help us with. And we're going to be doing some Christmas trees as well. So here's our Christmas tree. So some nice pointy triangle shapes that our Ziggy can help us with there. And just to show you some other ones, so mine I kept all in a nice order because that's just what I was doing with wrapping paper. But here's some that Jacob did as well. So just to show you, little ones can do them. And here's Jacob's. He did these all by himself while I was doing mine as well. So he's had a really good go at doing his penguins. And then there's his Christmas tree one. So it doesn't matter how we print them. It's totally up to you. And little ones can have a go. And they'll have great fun doing it. Okay. So to start with them, we need different colour paints. So obviously I've used the colour paints that I have for my penguins and Christmas trees. You don't have to use those colours. If you've got different colours, it'll still work fine. So I've got some black paint and some white ready mix paint all on my plates ready. I've got some green ready mix paint, some red ready mix paint, and a little bit of orange ready mix paint. So that's for the penguins' feet and beaks. So to start with, what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with the penguins. I'm going to do one half of the penguins, let that dry, and then we'll do the Christmas trees, and then we'll go back to the penguins, okay? So you need a good sized potato. So I've got a fairly good sized potato, and I've just cut it in half. This is going to be the penguin's body. So we've got a nice round shape there. So with the little ones, you can help them use their finger and go round the potato. So that's a nice swirlo going round and round shape there. Okay, just cut your potato in half. That can be a bit tricky sometimes holding potatoes when you're doing your printing. So a little trick that you can do is you can cut like a little handle into it. So you just kind of cut away, almost like a wedge. If you can see that, you're going to cut like a wedge away. And on the other side as well. So I'm going to cut like a little wedge out of my potato. And then you have like a little handle. I don't know if you can see that, a little handle to hold. And it's a lot easier then. So you can make that as big or as small as you need to. For little hands, I'm just going to cut a little bit more away of that. Okay, so we've got our nice shape now, and a little handle to hold to do our printing, okay? I can't see any reactions on here really, so if you do give me a like, please give me a like, so I know you're watching and that you understand, and a little comment would be lovely as well, please. Thank you. So our paint to start with then. So we've got a nice round ovally shape for our penguin body. And dip it in my black paint. Oh, it does help if you use a bit of tissue paper to just dab the potato a little bit to get some of that starch and wet off, which I haven't done actually, but that is better. So then we need a decent sized piece of paper. If you've got a decent sized piece of paper, I'm just using sugar paper. You can use whatever paper you want really, but sugar paper works quite nicely. And then I'm just going to start doing some penguin bodies. So I'm just going to do some nice penguin bodies here. Keep dipping your paint in. Obviously with your little ones, just watch them, help them. You've got to push quite hard, so you might want to just help them. Just push the potato down firmly so that you get a nice even spread of the paint on for your penguins. So I'm just going to do a few more of those. So again, push it down. You can talk about the shape being a round, that's like an oval shape that we've got for our penguins' bodies here. So to keep dipping your painting a little bit. Okay, there we go. So you can do however many you want to on your page. Let's add a bit more paint into that one. The little handle works quite well. It makes it a lot easier to lift it. And again, just push it down with the little ones. Just help them, a little bit of pressure will just help spread the paint around there. So that's my penguin bodies. I'm going to leave them to dry. Look, my posters are falling off the wall. I'm going to leave that to dry because you need that to be fairly dry before you put the white paint on top. So while that's drying, we'll do some Christmas trees. So again, another piece of paper. I think I'll use a different colour. So use a different colour piece of paper for this one. And for the Christmas trees, we need two shapes. So we need to cut a triangle shape out of your potato for the Christmas tree, and then just like a square rectangle shape for the bottom. So again, with the little ones, you can talk about it being a pointy shape. It's one of our zigzag shapes. You can use their fingers to trace around the triangle on the potato. And on the rectangle, that would be one of our line or straight line shapes. So again, you can use their fingers to trace around the straight lines and talk about the different shapes that we've got that we're using. So Christmas trees, again, just dab your paint into your potato. And then we're just going to do some triangles. Push down fairly well if you can. Now, another little trick, and I haven't put the wedges on this one because it's a bit trickier because of what I've cut away for my triangle. If you use a fork, so the potatoes can get a bit slippy for little hands as well, and they keep dropping them. So if you pop your potato in, and then you can just put a fork on the end of your potato, you've got like a little stamper, so it might make it easier. Jacob used a fork when he did his the other day. Again, you need to put a little bit of pressure and just dip it in. So you just dip it in your paint. You got your fork on the end so your hand doesn't get too slippy. It's a little bit easier to control. So I'm going to do some Christmas tree shapes like this. There we go. There we go. So I'm just going to do another little row of those. Again, you could talk about the pointy shape of the Christmas tree, the different colours that we're using as well. And here we go. So I'm just going to do a couple more of those so you can fill your paper as much as you want to. So I'm going to put that one down. So I've got my little triangle shapes now. So these are going to be my Christmas trees. Okay. And then next, we're just going to use the little square one to do our bases of our trees. So I'm going to use a little bit of red. You can use whatever colours you want for this, really, for the bases. You could have red Christmas trees if you want to, and green bases. So again, if you wanted to, you could pop a fork in the end again, and that can help with the paint. So with the little ones, just help them. You might need to put a little bit of pressure on the potato. So we've got a square shape this time. So this is our Lionel shape. So you could talk about those line or straight lines that we're using. So a little bit more red paint. There we go. I'm just going to print those a little bit more. We've got some Christmas trees. Okay. So let me just hold up what I've done there for you. So there's some Christmas trees. Okay, so again, you can carry on covering as much of your paper as you want to with that one. And then you can wait for it to dry to decorate. I like a bit of glitter. I always like a little bit of sparkle. So while my paint's wet, I'm just going to pop a little bit of glitter onto my trees. I mean, you could wait till they're dry and put some sticky stars on, different colour glitter. You could use a paintbrush and some different colour paints and do some lights and things on there if you wanted to. Put some different colour lights. Just going to give it a little bit of sparkle. We like a bit of glitter at Little Learners, a little bit of sparkle, which is cool. Right, and I've also got some little sticky stars, which I was just going to pop. I'll probably need to wait till the paint dries really before I do that. But you can pop some little stars at the top, like so. I'll just pop one on there. So we've got a little bit of glitter and sparkle and some little stars so you can decorate your trees. So that's a really nice simple one to do. You could do any shapes. You can cut star shapes out of your potato. There's all sorts of different things you can do, different shapes to make some nice Christmassy shapes. So we'll come back to our penguins. Now mine's not completely dry. It's still quite wet, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so it's not completely dry yet, but these are our black penguin bodies. So the next thing you need for your penguins, I'll show you what I did earlier. So we've got our black. So you just need a smaller potato now. So again, just cut it in half to do the white tummies. Okay, so again, you can talk about the circle shape, our swirlo circle shape going round and round there. So again, I'm just going to cut out a little handle. So just a little wedge in the top, and it just makes it a little bit easier. You could just put a fork in the top like we did with the other one. You just make like a little wedge and a little bit of a handle to hold. So it makes it a bit easier for your printing. So I'm going to use some white now. So I've got some white paint. So I'm just going to pop that in there. Now it's better if they are completely dry. It might smudge a little bit now and make it a bit grey. But I apologise if anybody is commenting, but I can't actually see any comments or reactions for some reason. So if you do have any questions, I'll go back through the video and I will try and answer them then. But if you do have any questions, just put it away. So it's a little bit wet, this, but you just need to pop it into the middle. I'll show you in just a sec when I've done. It is, like I said, it is better if it's completely dry. But it is a little bit wet, mine. Let's just pop a bit of white. So we're getting kind of a bit grey tummies here rather than white. Why the two colours are mixing together. Never mind. So we'll pop those on. There we go. Oh, that was far too wet. Never mind. Put a bit more on that one. But you get the idea. So yeah, it's better to wait for the paint to be completely dry, but there's our tummies there. So I'd wait till your black paint's dry. It works a little bit better. Once you have done that, you need to get a small paintbrush, and we just need to do some little arms. So you just want to put, well, flippers really, I suppose they are, aren't they? So do some little flippers either side of your penguins. So again, with a little bit of black paint, I think I'll use this paintbrush, just a small paintbrush, and you're going to do some little flippers. So kind of almost an arch shape really, isn't it? Almost doing an arch shape for the little flippers going down there. You could have lots of different size potatoes and do lots of different size penguins. You could have some big penguins, some smaller baby penguins. That would look quite nice as well. So I'm just going to pop some arms on. There we go. So just some kind of little flippers. Again, younger children can do this. Doesn't really matter where the flippers go at the end of the day, does it? You know, give them a paintbrush, get them mark making. You probably want to supervise the use of paint, especially black paint. In my experience, doesn't always come off. So we've got some little arms now. So our penguins have some arms. Okay, you can see where the white hasn't quite worked on some of those because the black was still a little bit too wet. Right, then next we need to do get a bit of orange paint, and you need to do their beaks and their feet. And it's just like little triangles really. So a little bit of orange paint, and you're going to just paint some little triangles for their feet and their beaks. So you could have them facing whichever direction you want to really. My little triangle feet. There we go. So do that on my penguins. Oops, he's got rather a big beak, that one. I did that one a little bit wrong. Never mind. There we go. Yeah, my paint's still a little bit wet, my black, so it's kind of smudging a bit. So you're better to wait, do it in stages if you can. Would make it a little bit easier. Pointy beak there. There we go. It's popping on my little feet. Hope you're doing well with your little penguin feet. He's got quite big feet, that one. Right, another beak there. There we go. Okie dokie. Right, then we've got some there. So there's my penguins. They're starting to look a little bit like penguins, I hope now. Okay, so you can see their little feet and their beaks. And then the last thing is just to do their eyes. You could do some little sticky googly eyes. That would look quite nice. Or you could just, again, it's probably better to wait until they're dry, but I just use a little bit of white paint and then a little bit of black paint for the dot in the middle. So it is better if you let it dry. I'll try and find a little drier spot on some of mine and just do some little white circles where you want the eyes to go. Here we go, we're getting there. Little dots of white, and then a little paintbrush, a little tiny bit of black. You might want to do this bit in the middle, but as I said, you can use some googly eyes. Would probably look quite nice if you've got some sticky googly eyes, or just some little sticky eyes would look quite nice. So there we go. And then let that one dry. So there are my little penguins. The white hasn't quite worked very well on that one because, as I said, I left it. I didn't leave it to dry. And there's my Christmas trees as well. So, like I said, you can use lots of different shapes if you want to. Go be creative. Do stars. Try and do some Santa Clauses. Potato just are great just for cutting out different shapes. Sponges are quite good as well. You can cut sponges into different shapes and do some printing and do a very similar thing, really. So I hope you've enjoyed that little crafty bit this morning, making our Christmas wrapping paper. Have a go. I'd love to see some of your ideas. Enjoy your day and come back tomorrow and there'll be someone else doing some Christmas crafty little learners fun. Bye.